Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Checking In. I'm Miranda Kitterlin Lynch, and I am one of your hosts for this show. We are sadly missing my co host, Leon Thomas, but he will be back to join us next time. I'll do the very best that I can in his absence. Great news is we do have a fantastic guest. She's joined us previously, but I'm so excited that she was able to come back again for this episode and share with us some of the cool things that she's doing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on our guest. Hello.
Hi, Miranda. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. As always, we always have great conversations, and I'm so happy if Leon can't be here, then I get you all to myself.
And we will miss Leon, but we'll find him on another episode.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you could, for anyone who missed your previous episode, would you mind telling our listeners who you are and what you do?
Sure, absolutely. So my name is Seema Jain, and I'm the founder CEO of a organization company called Seva Global. Seva Global is a cultural advisory firm. We're here to help teams and employees be a little bit more culturally competent as they work with diverse guests or diverse customers, owners, vendors, and making sure that they are set up for success in driving bottom line results, in helping increase employee engagement, and most importantly, customer experience. So that is what we do in a nutshell. And we love helping our hospitality companies as well, as that is where my background started with Marriott International.
Amazing. So can you tell me, let me back up a little bit and ask you, what inspired you to get into this space?
Right. So Miranda, I don't know if you remember, like when I started in hospitality in 2006, it was really because my parents had bought some hotels and I was in healthcare before and in different fields. And I realized that they might need my help one day. So I took my hand at corporate sales at a resort near my home. It was the Marriott Lincolnshire Resort. And I learned organically in 2008 when there was a recession going on that if I was smart on cultural competency and could work with guests understanding their cultural needs as they are in our hotels, then maybe I can drive sales. So I did a case study, sent that to corporate. They loved it. The ROI was great. We were able to take care of our guests from amenities they needed while they were here, maybe TV shows they liked, food items on the buffet that resonated with their cultures. And by doing all this, the numbers went very high. Our ADRs were, our RevPARs were great. Our ROIs were great. And then the Marriott International just said, hey, we'd love for you to do this now for all the hotels. So if a guest has a lot of a hotel had a lot of Japanese guests, what do we need to do? If the hotel has a lot of Brazilian guests, what do we need to do? If there's a lot of Muslim travelers or Jewish travelers, what do we do to make sure that they are okay?
That's amazing. So you shared a kind of broad look at how this type of understanding can really benefit business. But do you remember a specific moment when having that understanding significantly enhanced an event's success, like a magic moment where you said, oh, I know exactly what will put this over the top?
Right. So let me just back up to that first story that we did back in 2008. And remember, 2008 was a tough economic time. So as we had experienced a pandemic and in our recent times, this is sort of similar, where I realized that when we have travelers coming to our hotel, and the way I learned it is as I've traveled the world, I also think, what is it I want when I go to another country? So recently, if you're in Mexico or you're in South America, everything is in Spanish, all the stations. So was it nice that they had one English station for me? Yes, it was great. So I started learning that, let me put myself in their shoes and see what it feels like when they come to our country, or this could be international travelers or just people who are, of a different ethnic group and staying in our hotels. So by doing this, I kind of try to look at things from their perspective. Wow, I love it, Miranda, when I go to another country and I can try some new foods. But truthfully, after maybe 14 days, I want comfort food. I might want a slice of pizza, or I might want something I'm familiar with. And so that's how I started working it, is thinking from their lens, right? Not just my side, but treating people the way they want to be treated and asking my guests, what can I do to make your experience better? Right. And they would guide us on what was important to them. So that is how I started learning it. And once I started one culture, it was easy enough to take the recipe and move it on to other cultures. So, we do 12 different cultures, and any culture I don't do, we're happy to create it for our clients as well. So it was really a moment of, let me see what makes them feel good, how I can take care of them in an authentic, genuine, organic way. And that's the business will come naturally. Now, the beauty of ethnic groups, Miranda, is that once they like you, the marketing is done by them. You don't have to spend dollars. They're going to come and tell their friends. So in this one particular hotel, our RevPAR moved from 3 to 1 all in 90 days, and we share shift to 2,000 room nights. People were starting to hear, wow, this particular hotel has this on the buffet, or they have these TV stations, or whatever it is. So they themselves become our marketing tool, which is fabulous.
That's brilliant, because from a business lens, you're really hitting multiple of your goals with one swoop.
Yes. I mean, think about it. We have guest satisfaction scores that we try to hit up. We're looking at dollars. I mean, we are, for-profit companies. And while this is the right thing to do, to welcome guests of all backgrounds, all diversities, ethnicities, whatever, it is also important to realize that at the end of the day, you have to make money and make sense. So these types of things, when you do it with authenticity, I think that's the main thing of why people will come back to you, right? They know it, they can see it. It's kind of like I tell people, if you have a dog, dogs know, do you really love them, or are you just pretending? Well, people are no different. They know lip service versus authenticity. And when we do things with authentic heart, it's going to show, and the results will come organically.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let me ask you, what would you say are some common misconceptions when it comes to putting on events with cultural understanding?
I think the one thing we're seeing is that people do think they know it all. And I tell people, you can never know it all. Like, I'm Indian. I even don't know everything about my culture. Okay. I'm learning every day. So when people say, oh yeah, we've taken this, I have clients, attendees that have come 3, 4 times to my sessions because they say they learn every time something new. So I tell them, when you think you know it all, come to me. I will teach you something new. But you are a student for life. Okay. Miranda, you have the kids, they're starting, we're grooming them, we're getting them ready for the careers of hospitality industry. But the truth is, they're going to keep learning all the way. One day they might be in sales. One day they might be in banquets. One day they might be in operations. And each way that they are taking those new positions, things are going to evolve for them and look at things differently from a new perspective. So first thing is, you don't know it all, and I don't know it all. And I will be the first to say, even though I'm a cultural advisor, I will never know it all. So even of those with an ethnic background, we're learning every day. So that's one thing I say. And the other thing is, I really encourage people to take the risk and ask with their good heart questions. People are so afraid in this country now, Miranda, to ask things. They're walking on eggshells. Oh my God, we'll make a faux pas, we'll offend somebody. Here's the truth. If you ask with an authentic heart, if you ask with your genuine interest, 98% of the population is going to be receptive. The 2% that aren't could have just had a bad day no matter what you were going to do, right? Like, that's always, but I'm willing to take that risk. And if I made a mistake, which we will, and I will, and you will, and everybody will, you apologize and you move on. But the 98% chance, I just came back from Medellin, Colombia. My daughter lives there. So my whole family went down there, and it was so cool to immerse into her lifestyle and see her in her element. We met all her friends. And of course, being in the field I am of cultural curiosity all the time, 24/7, I was asking them so many questions about Medellin. Beautiful city. If you haven't gone, Miranda, you got to put on your bucket list. It was just gorgeous. And one thing, they were so happy, and they told Serena, we just really appreciate that your mom asked so many great questions and was so respectful to our culture, right? So it's how we ask people. And do we ask with condescending tone or a really genuine heart to learn? Anybody in this world who has a heritage, ethnicity, culture, whether it's the Southern culture, the Texas culture, a culture of the US or outside, we're always proud. We're always proud. And we want to share with somebody about our culture. So yes, ask questions and don't be afraid. And in the chance you make a faux pas, like I said, we're going to make a mistake. You apologize and move on.
That's great advice. And yes, that is on my bucket list.
Good. And when you're ready, let me know. I'll connect you with her. So great.
No, you're coming with me. You're going to have to be.
I'll come with you. I'll come with you. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask you one more question, and then I want to dive into something really exciting that's coming up later this month that I'm really looking forward to. But first, let me ask, so what would you say is one of your best tips to training or guiding people to deliver events that are culturally respectful?
You have to want to have curiosity to learn about the culture. Okay. So for example, if we're doing a Jewish bar mitzvah, Indian wedding, LGBTQ wedding, whatever event it is, you have to take the tools and resources that we give you and you have to run with it. I can only do so much, right? They always say you can take the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. So it is on them to take the knowledge. And what I tell people, go above and beyond, immerse into different communities. If you have a friend that is Jewish and you want to learn about that community, ask them, maybe take me to a synagogue. Can I go to Shabbat with you? Please help me understand your community. Everybody wants to help somebody. If I want to understand about LGBTQ, maybe I'm going to do a pride parade. I'm going to do something with the LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce. You have to have a genuine interest to learn. And that is the number one tip I can give you to being successful in whatever you do. We know which salespeople, event people are truly interested in different cultures versus one who are just trying to do it to make a sale. The ones who are genuinely interested are probably going to get much more business because we will refer friends to that person. So having that curiosity for life, having that inquisitive questions, thinking how you want to be, those are the things that set up the success. And we have seen it over the years. Who are the top salespeople? Those who go above and beyond. Those who go above and beyond for sure will naturally learn the cultures because they're interested. And Miranda, even if you can't travel due to financial reasons, whatever, health reasons, whatever, podcasts, movies, there's so many ways to learn about cultures. I'm on a K-drama kick. And now I'm on a Turkish drama kick because we're going to Istanbul. I just love learning. And there's just different ways that you can do it, and immersing into Chinatown, go visit, whatever is accessible to you. I've been to Little Havana in Miami, right? The Cuban. So you just have to want that curiosity. And those who have that natural curiosity will be quite successful. We are in a global world of thinking. Our colleagues are all over the world. Ask them questions, right? How do you do it? Is this appropriate? Would this be okay to do? You just have to want that curiosity all the time.
Yeah, I agree. That makes so much sense. Absolutely. Now, please share with everybody listening about this incredible event you have coming up in South Florida.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, Miranda, let me give you a little back history on how the Multicultural Roadshow evolved. So for years, when we started Seva Global 5 years this summer, we would have clients approach us, right? Hotel brands will call us and say, hey, can you bring a program to all of our hotels in this area? That's great. It limited us, though, to one brand at a time. This year, last summer, my team encouraged me to take the leap of faith and say, now it's time for Seva Global to put on its own show. So we tested it in LA in November. It went well. And we decided we're going to do we have 5-city roadshow. So we started in Atlanta, went to New York City, did Chicago. DC is coming up next week. And then our grand finale stop is in Miami. It's at the Diplomat Beach Resort Hotel by Hilton. We are super excited to work with them. They have been phenomenal partners and really looking forward to presenting it there. The reason we're so excited about this roadshow, Miranda, is because it is inclusive to all. It can be sales, banquets, events, operations. It can be hospitality students. And we are delighted to bring 10 people from Florida International University to the program. If I'm going to do something, I want to invest in my future. These are my bright future leaders, and I want to make sure they have the tools and resources to be culturally confident so that when they start their first job, they have they have something unique that they can add to their resume. So all of the students will get certificates, and we have some great corporate sponsors too that have been helping us along the way. The other thing is, it's not just about social events. The reason we picked this category is because despite pandemic or recession, this is one area that doesn't stop. You probably never heard, Miranda, an Indian person saying, there's a recession, I'm not doing a wedding. That doesn't happen. The question is, where can I do a wedding during a pandemic? So a lot of people ended up having to go to Mexico due to the sheer size that we had. So that was the reason we picked a social wedding. However, in New York and Chicago, we have corporate people coming too. Why? Suppose you have a large group of an ethnic background, a LGBT group, or a Jewish group, or an Indian group. You can learn so much from this core training that we're going to do, the workshops we're going to present, that you can now take this to that Indian business meeting and apply it. So it's not just about the social weddings and catering, though it's heavily involved. It's about our associations, corporations, and different areas that you can work with. One of my favorite stories actually was with Atrium Hospitality. We did a webinar on India and Indian weddings, and the gentleman took very detailed notes. And the next day, he thought he had a lost, turned down piece of business, and it was an Indian business group or religious group, but it wasn't a wedding. He applied the same tips and tricks that I gave him, all the tools, strategies, and everything, and he won that piece of business, which was $200,000. Now, you tell me, if you're going to invest in something for a day and you can get that kind of ROI, it sounds pretty good. So these are the things that people should know. The beauty of me controlling this, I invite who I want. I will have leaders and people from different communities come in. I get to call who the VIP guests are because it's my roadshow and I want everybody to be included. There's, it's kind of like the school saying no child left behind. Well, in my world, everybody's invited. So that's the beauty of doing it on my own. Of course, I take the risk, but the reward is so gratifying. Miranda, when I see these students in my session, they light up the room. They are bringing new, diverse perspectives, and we are very fortunate that we have a bright future ahead of us. I'm watching them. In Chicago, we had College of DuPage come. Terrific group. In Atlanta, we had Georgia State University and Spelman College. In New York, I had NYU come. And so wherever we go, we're trying to make sure. In DC, I have Howard and George Mason coming to the class. So, and of course in Florida, FIU. So these students bring energy to the class, right? They're bringing new thinking. And that is what is really impressive to me, because when you have somebody 30 years in the industry, they're getting burnt out. They might be tired. They're not seeing things, but your students are so impressive. And what is great is it's an opportunity for employers to meet future employees. And if the students are smart and they network well, they could land an internship with somebody. So it's a win-win for all. And it makes me feel good that I can give back.
That's fantastic. Well, first, on behalf of all of our FIU students, I want to say thank you, because it's such a generous opportunity. And I would say for anyone, anywhere you're at in your career, in your education, I think having the opportunity to gain knowledge about something that you may never use, you don't know what you're going to need or use in your lifetime. You don't know when it's going to benefit you. When you have an opportunity to gain knowledge from someone so accomplished as yourself, why on earth would you pass that up, right? Mm-hmm. Imagine just, sitting at a business meeting in another industry and having the knowledge that you've shared help you close a deal, right? Anything is possible when you have that sort of that information on hand for you to tap into. So
yeah, it's funny. In Houston, we did a program at the Houston Marquee, it was a great session, and the director of sales and marketing and the general manager of the, like, it was a good representation of leadership. And one of the gentlemen told me that even though he didn't do anything in the wedding space, the India culture knowledge that I give in the first 90 minutes of understanding the culture, when he went to a Indian business meeting, he said everything started to make sense. Why they behave a certain way, what is the hot buttons, what makes them tick. He understood. So even though you may not do a wedding, the first part of each of our sections, so it starts off with India 101, Indian weddings. And then, of course, I have to have food, because what kind of Indian would I be without food, right? You got to have good cultural food. So what we have done is we have the LGBTQ after lunch and the Jewish. But in each segment, we feel that the reason our program is unique, we go over the core values of that community or culture. Because if you understand the core values or the basics, you can then understand the thinking and the process. And I think that's where a lot of people make the mistake, is they just want to jump in and get like a Cliff Note version. And I have to bring you back to kindergarten level to start you off. And like I tell a lot of our attendees, you can't just give a child a book and say, read it. You have to teach them the ABCs, the sounds. They then put words together. They formulate sentences, and then they can read a book. And that's how each of our sessions are designed, to start at the beginning, whether it's understanding pronouns and usage of pronouns, LGBTQ, understanding what is a synagogue, what is kosher in Jewish. You do need to understand this if you want true success, so you don't make that faux pas. So hopefully that helps a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
We are coming to the end of our time together. And what we would usually do now is ask you our signature questions. But because you have been with us before, I don't want to repeat the same questions. Instead, I have some new ones for you.
Okay.
If I may.
You may.
I'm going to need first, what is your social security number?
Sure. I'll just type it in the chat for you. There you go.
So let me ask you, if you could host an event anywhere in the world with an unlimited budget, where would it be and what would the theme be?
Ooh, okay. Where it would be, that's a great question, because there's so many great places. I do know the theme would be something it would be a community service activity for sure. So Miranda, as you know, and I think we said this on the first show, Seva is a Sanskrit word that means the act of selfless service. So when I started this company, it was because I was able to do a lot of Seva in the furlough period in 2020 to my parents, helping them, taking care of them for 4 months while we were all furloughed. It was a reminder to me that if I name a company Seva Global, I will always remember, as we earn, we also give back and we donate. So we have a lot of great initiatives, and I'll make sure that you get the links to those. However, one thing I would say is it would be something, we just did an activity on March 19th for Women's History Month, where we were able to bring a organization and of women and bring them to a salon and get their hair and manicure done. These women work a lot with domestic violence center, and they just are exhausted. And it was just nice to see that the staff got a break, and that my salon, Michael Thomas Salon, was able to give them all the services. So that's the kind of events I like to do. So the event part will not be the tricky part. I think where it would be, it really just depends. It can be a USA based. It might be right here in Chicago, right in my hometown, where I have a lot of friends and family. But I would just think about that, and it depends what is best for the event. If I see a project that is really somewhere in Atlanta, we did one in December there with Housing Plus. If I see a great opportunity somewhere else, I will host it there. But the opportunity will precede the location.
That's fantastic. And this is why you're so successful, because you are just, I love everything about you.
Thank you. And one day we're going to bring a Seva event to Miami, and I would love the students to gather with me and do some good work in the community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. I have one more question up my sleeve for you. What would you say is your go-to wow factor or party trick when you want to impress guests at an event?
Oh, so unlike my husband, I'm not a magician. Can't do that. He pulls those out at any place and he's a hit. Um, honestly, to be honest with you, when people find out what I do, the questions come out a lot. Like, because it's such a niche, right? And it's so unique. And I think they just get so intrigued by like, wow, this is so cool. How did you come up with this? So that is something I try not to focus on it too much. I try to keep it top level, but they keep asking like, well, what have you done? Or what has been your biggest faux pas? They start getting into that. I really don't have any secrets or anything like that. I'm a good networker. I enjoy truly meeting people. I love to learn what people do. And my favorite thing is to find entrepreneurs and support them, right? Even if I don't always need their business, find someone who might. But I have been so blessed, Miranda, in 5 years to have so much support for me. It is time to pay forward. So, someone just said, hey, we're going to a comedy show. My grandson is in it. Yeah, I'm going to go because I want to support. And I know how good it feels when that room is full and you see smiling faces for encouragement, right? So it's a book launch. I'll buy 5 books. Whatever it is, I know that side of being now the vendor or the small business entrepreneur that I will always want to support as many entrepreneurs or help them and guide them in their journey of how to. And yes, have I made mistakes? Of course. All good entrepreneurs make mistakes, but how to learn and keep moving on. So don't have a party trick really there, but I'm going to start thinking about it. But I think the topic I work around tends to gravitate a lot of interest for people because it's not just a doctor or a lawyer, and it's something different and unique. So that's kind of where I sit at.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be one of those people asking you a million questions.
You would.
As much as I think I know, I know that I don't know enough.
I know. And we never will, right? And my parents, actually, the height of my career in 14, 20 years, Arnie Sorensen came to my session, our former CEO, and my parents are like, wow, we learned from you. Now, if your Indian parents who've been here 6 years can learn from you, you know that every non-Indian is not at that same place, right? So and that's just one example, right? My favorite cultures to teach. I love teaching the Chinese culture. I love teaching how to take care of a Muslim guest because they're so different. And I love showing only the positive. So I don't do the negative that, anybody else can do that. I want to show all the positives about a culture and to get people to open up their mind. Even if I can move them 1 degree closer to positivity, I did something right. Miranda, I forgot to tell you, and this is because Leon was trying to become a vegetarian. I forgot to tell you something. So when this roadshow was designed by us, I am a vegetarian and vegan at home mostly, and then vegetarian outside. We have decided that any hotel that works with us, I have been fortunate enough to create a menu with a director of food and beverage, Tarana Aluwalia, at the Marriott down here in Chicago. We created a menu that was sustainable and plant-based and tasty. And we have Atlanta did a great job. Chicago did a great job. In New York, we did a different type of space situation. The Diplomat Resort is taking the menu and working with it too. So my goal is, as many companies are promoting sustainability, that is a big part of our vision also at Seva Global, and we want to align with everybody. So it is a global street foods, global cuisine, all plant-based, making sure that I am good with protein because that's the first thing people ask. So protein, I made sure we have nut-free options, gluten-free options, everything. I never want anybody to be hungry from my program. That will not make me feel good, right? So I want to make sure I've taken care of everybody and being inclusive to all food allergies and dietary restrictions. So you will get to experience that when you come to the Diplomat Beach Resort.
That's awesome. That's so exciting. And I will tell you, since the last time you visited with us on the podcast, I've been incorporating more and more plant-based meals into our family's diet. But my trick is I don't tell them. I don't say anything about it. I just bring it to the table, enjoy. And as long as I don't bring it up, everybody loves it.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, one day you, Leon, and I have to get together and come to Chicago, and we'll just have a cooking session at my house.
I love it.
And that would be great. That would be great.
Absolutely.
Aw, terrific.
Thank you so much for being here. This has been wonderful. And I'm so excited to see you later this month at your event. I'm so excited for all the opportunities to learn. And thank you so much for championing our FIU students with this opportunity. So
of course. And I'm very proud of our future leaders. That's all I can say. Doing this in the last 3 months and seeing the new generation, it gives me such great hope. They are smart. The Gen Zs know what they're doing. You get the right ones. They are absolutely quite capable. We just have to give them the chance. That's all.
100%.
That's all. So I will be the first one. I have 2 Gen Zs on my team, and they are my superstars. I will tell you right now. So
I believe it.
They're great.
All of the other schools that you've worked with have been amazing.
Yeah.
FIU is going to be the best because our students are beyond.
And just so you know, I will be also looking for interns this summer. So we will get a job description out. And, I love hospitality students, and they would learn a lot from Seva Global. So we'll see what we can come up with.
I love it. Thank you so much, Seema.
You're welcome.
It was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of Checking In. It has been awesome chatting with Seema, and we missed you, Leon. We can't wait to have you back next episode. For anybody listening, if you'd like to join us on Checking In, you can reach me, Miranda Kitterlin Lynch. Just type my name into your favorite search engine. I'm the only one you're going to find. And if you want to reach out to Leon, I'm sure you can find him on LinkedIn or email him at leon@theleonthomasgroup.com. Thanks, and see you on the next episode.